Hi guys, today we'll see normal forms. There are two types of normal forms. One is Chomsky normal form, another is Grebich normal form. Chomsky normal form, in short, we'll write it as CNF, whereas in Grebich normal form, we'll write it as GNF. Now, we'll see the Chomsky normal form. How do we define a Chomsky normal form? In Chomsky normal form, all the production should be of the form A produces BC, that is a variable producing two variables or a variable producing a terminal. In a given grammar, there can be any type of productions. As it is a context-free grammar, it can be have any type of productions. Given any type of productions, it has to be reduced to A produces BC, that is a variable producing two variables or a variable producing a single terminal. Let us see how to do this. Convert the following grammar to a CNF form, that is CNF in short, Chomsky normal form. The given grammar says S produces 0A or 1B, A produces 0AA, 1S or 1, B produces 1BB, 0S or 0. See, according to the requirement of a conversion of given grammar to a CNF, there should not be any useless symbols, there should not be any epsilon productions, there should not be any unit productions. We'll check one by one. First step. Eliminate useless symbols if any. What is an useless symbols? The symbols which are not generating and not reachable are called as an useless symbols, as we have seen in the elimination of useless symbols presentation. What is not generating? Not generating means if variables is not producing a terminal, we call such variable as a not generating. What is not reachable? From start symbol, if we are not able to reach to a particular variable, we say that variables or those symbols are not reachable. So if there are any variables which are not generating or not reachable, then those variables has to be eliminated. That is nothing but elimination of useless symbols. So how do we start with the given grammar? Check here. Here is the given grammar. So first we have to check for the generating, that is a variable producing a terminal. So I written in the form of a table, old variable, new variable in production. Check in the given grammar. This is our given grammar. In this grammar, you check which all variables are generating. Generating means a variable should produce a terminal. A variable is producing a terminal. A is producing 1. So A producing 1 we have written. Next, B is producing 0. So we have written B produces 0. So only these S, A, B are the variables. Among these two, A and B are generating. That is, a variable is producing a terminal. Then we got a and B variables. We have written here A and B. See, after that, what is the next step? Along with a terminal, if any of these variables are there, assume that there is one terminal X. Along with this, if any along with the X produces, along with this, say for example, if 0 A is there, assume that this is the given column. What is 0? 0 is a terminal. How about A? First we'll check whether A is generating. Yes, A is generating. Then we'll include that X here. That is, we should go on including the variables in this new variable column. So check here. A produces 1, B produces 0 is there, AB we have considered. Now, what we have to do is we have to check in the productions whether any of these variables which already we have got that they are generating, along with these variables, any of the terminals are there. If they are there, then they will include. Now, first step, check here, 0A. Whether we have got A as a generating? Yes, we have got A as a generating. So, we'll write here 0A. Then next, yes, produces 1B. We got B as a generating. Yes, B is also generating. So 1B is also included. Next, come here. A produces 0AA or 1S. Here in this step, we have not got anything. We have got only S produces 0A or 1B. Next, we have to check whether any of these are generating. Now, these two are generating. We have written that one, 0A and 1B. Along with this, if S is a variable associated, then those productions also has to be included. But if you check here first step, S produces 0A or 1B, SAB, we got SAB, we have included those things here. SAB, terminus T, S produces 0A, 1B, A produces 0AA, 1S or 1, then B produces 1BB, 0S or 0. Because A is generating, we know A is generating. This is A is generating, B is generating, this also A is generating, A is generating. Here we have got S also as a generating. Because here S is producing 0A, 1B. As these two are generating, we are tell S is also a generating. So 1S, 1 anyhow it is a terminal, it is generating. 1B, B is generating, so 1B is generating. 0S, it is generating. 0 is also generating. So we are in the first step, we have checked which all variables are generating. In the next step, we check which all variables are reachable. What is the reachable variables? The variables from a start symbol, if we are able to reach to a particular terminal, from start symbol, if you are able to reach to a particular variable, then we call that as a reachable. So here, start initial no production, start with the yes, that is starting production. Yes produces, check here, which is the production here. Yes produces 0A, 1B. So from yes, I can reach to A, even I can reach to B. So include both these productions. Check here. Here, yes, start with the start symbol. 0 from yes, I can reach to A, even I can reach to B. So here, that's why we say it as 0, 1. Which all are the terminals here? 0 and 1 are the terminals. Which all are the variables? Yes, A, B. So we have tried all the productions from yes, which all I am able to reach to A. So we'll write the A production. Even I am able to reach to B. Write the B production. Check whether any variables terminals you have got new one. If you got any new variables or terminals, new one, include, else stop there itself and write the grammar. So in the final grammar, we are going to have these variables, these terminals, and these productions. So check here. Productions P is equal to S produces 0A, 1B. A produces those things, whatever we have got here. So, variables, terminals, and productions. S is the start symbol. This grammar we have got after eliminating the useless symbols. See, first we have to check for the useless symbols. If any useless symbols are there, eliminate it. Go to the next step. The next is, what is the next step? Next step is eliminating the epsilon productions. We'll check whether in a given grammar, whether we have any epsilon productions. No. What is an epsilon production? If there is any production of the form A produces epsilon, we call that as an epsilon production. That is a variable, not only A, any variable producing an epsilon, we call such production as an epsilon production. But check here, this does not have an epsilon production, this does not have an epsilon production, this does not have an epsilon production. As there are no epsilon productions, so the grammar remains the same. So after eliminating the epsilon productions, the grammar remains, all the productions remains same. Next step. What is the next step? After eliminating the epsilon production, what is the next step? Elimination of unit productions. We need to check whether there are any unit productions. See, always you remember that. First take, consider the grammar, check for the useless symbols. After eliminating the useless symbols, whatever the grammar you will get, you will go for the next step. That is, next step is eliminating the epsilon productions. If there are any epsilon productions are there, eliminate it. If there are no epsilon productions, that grammar has to be, whatever after eliminating the epsilon production, whatever the grammar you will get, that grammar has to be taken for the next step. The next step is eliminating the unit productions. Check whether there are any unit productions. What is an unit production? You remember what is an unit production? A variable producing a variable is called as an unit production. That is, check here. I don't have any productions. A variable producing a variable, we don't have any productions. So what we'll do here? So we'll keep the grammar as it is. So no unit production in the above grammar. So the resulting grammar is same, because if there are no unit productions, there is nothing to eliminate. So the grammar remains same. Next. First check what we have to do, as we need to convert the grammar to a CNF. After that, whatever the grammar we'll get for in that, for this we have to convert it to CNF. First step, we have to check which all are in a CNF form, which all are not in a CNF form. Which are in CNF form, don't make any changes, keep those productions as it is. Check here, the productions in CNF form are, that is, as just now I told you, A produces BC, A produces BC, or A produces A. Check here. So this is not in that form. It is terminal followed by variable, terminal followed by variable, terminal followed by two variables, terminal, variable, terminal. So this is of this form. A produces A. A variable producing a terminal. This is already in a CNF form. Again, this is also in a CNF form. Now, The productions in CNF form are A produces A and B produces 0. The productions which are not in a CNF form are, see, check here, this one, this is the productions you have written here. This is in CNF form. This is in CNF form. All these productions are not in a CNF form. Correct? In the first step. So we are written S produces 0A, 1B, A produces 0A, 1B, B produces 1BB, 0S. What we have to do? We have to convert this form to a CNF form. Simple way is replace this 0 and 1 are there. Huh? Take any new variables, replace it with the new variable. So replace 0 by Z. What we had, I told, replace this 0 by Z. You may be having a question that instead of Z, can you take any variable? Yes, any variable you can take. It's not like Z only. Any variable you can introduce. You have to introduce a new variable. Once you introduce that new variable, you have to write that in a productions. So 0 by Z and add Z produces 0. So I am planning to replace 0 by Z, and I am telling you to replace this, that is introduce this production in the grammar. Z is producing 0. So what happens here? S produces, replace 0 by Z. So S produces ZA, and I have tried to change these two because I can't reduce it to a single variable, but I can't reduce it to a single terminal, but I can reduce it to a two variables. To do that thing, what I am trying to do, I am trying to replace the terminal by a variable, any new variable, and that whichever the new variable you are introducing, that new variable along with for which terminal you are trying to replace, that has to be mentioned here. Replace 0 by Z and add Z to add Z produces 0, and replace 1 by N and add N produces 1. So here replace 0 by Z, 1 by N, 0 by Z, 1 by, here it should be 1 by N. It should be 1 by N, sorry. It should be 1 by N. So it is, replace this, here we have 1, right? 1 means N. NS, NBB, Z by zeros. See, if you see here, whether it has been reduced to any of the CNF form, yes, it is a variable producing a two terminals. Again, here also variable producing a two variables. Sorry, variable producing a two variables, two variable producing a two variables. This has come in a CNF form. This is in a CNF form. How about this one? This is not in a CNF form. Either it should have two variables or a single terminal. It has a three variables. It's not in a CNF form. This is again in a CNF form. This is not in a CNF form. This is again in a CNF form. So this is in a CNF form. This is in a CNF form. This is in a CNF form. This is because there is in a CNF form a variable producing two variables is also one form of the CNF. Next, the resulting grammar after replacing those things with the new variables will get like this. We have got like this. That is S produces A and B. These things. If you check this one, this is in CNF form. This is in CNF form. This is in CNF form. A variable producing two variables or a variable producing a single terminal. If you check here, these two productions are not in a CNF form. Do you agree? A produces ZAA, B produces NBB, because either it should have two variables or a single terminal. This is having two variables. 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 But this has a single terminal. This has a single terminal. So the already which are in CNF form, we'll take it out. And the productions which are not in a CNF form are A produces ZAA, B produces NBB. So if we restrict number of variables, variables on the right hand side of the production to 2, the above productions will become like this. Again, if we check productions which are in CNF form, not in a CNF form, A produces Z. Just now I said here, this is this, all these are CNF form. These two are not in a CNF form, not in a CNF form. This has to be converted to CNF form. According to the scenario, either it has to be reduced to two variables or a single terminal. Reducing it to a single terminal is difficult, so we can reduce it to two variables. How to reduce this one? Again, combine any two variables and introduce a new variable. See here. Combine any two variables, introduce a new, these two are not in a CNF form. Replace A by D, means new variable I am introducing it as a D, and add D produces A. Replace BB by E and add E produces BB. So just two new variables, and we are in CNF form we can write like this: single variable producing a two variables can be written, single variable producing a two variables can be written. So what we are telling, to convert this into CNF form, replace A by D. So we'll change this one to D, and replace BB by E. Replace this one. You may ask a question, why only A and BB? It can be done like you can take ZA also, you can take NB also, you can take any two variables, combine any two variables and introduce a new variable. So I have considered D producing A and E producing BB to convert the grammar into CNF form. The final grammar which is in CNF form, replace A produces ZAA will be replaced by, so what happens now in this case, A produces, we'll get it as ZD. The next B produces BB, we are replacing with E, so we'll get it as NE. So this one, if we check here, again here also we have got two variables, here also we have got the two variables. S produces ZJ or NB, A produces ZG, ZS1, B produces NE, ZS and or 0. So now if we check, all the productions are a variable producing a two variables, variables producing a two variables, variable producing two variable, terminal, variable, variable and terminal. So now all the productions are in a CNF form. So what all the new variables we are introduced, that has to be produced: Z producing 0, N producing 1, D producing A, E producing BB, E producing BB. See here, while writing the grammar, you have to mention all these things, this new one. What all the new productions you have included, though all not all the new variables, along with the productions what you have included. Thank you, students.